Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TJ Latilok page. It has been a while that I spoke in this forum, but today I want us to dive into three things. One, I want us to look into the postmortem of the just concluded parliamentary nominations. Number two, I want to look at the perceived popularity growth of the NRM party in northern Uganda and Uganda at whole. And then three, we want us to look into the rise of unopposed members of parliament in Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, number one, the postmortem of the just concluded parliamentary nominations. The 22nd, 23rd witnessed across the country series of people nominated to contest as members of parliament in their different constituencies. I've been following the media interviews that always followed shortly after nominations by these aspirants. I've seen a lot of messages that have been very common. The question of transition. There is this delusional new government that is being propagated by a majority of the people that got nominated. Especially the argument is that a transition is coming, a new government is coming up. President Museveni is likely to be only for this next 5 years, and then that means a new government is going to be formed, and that there is a need for senior people, experienced people who should be in parliament so that they can handle the question of transition or formation of new government. And that has been an argument, more especially from the senior members of parliament. Some of them had left parliament and they are coming back. Others have been in parliament for decades. They say that now this is a time where their seniority is more needed in parliament. I've been begging a lot of questions. I think this is a lot of delusion. If you have been in this government of the president, Yoweri Museveni Kagota, you have been here, you have been a member of parliament for decades, you have been a minister, you have been someone, you have been manning the system in this government. What makes you think you are the most suitable person for the next government, the new government? You definitely don't belong in the new government. Because now, why would we crave for the new government if the system is going to be manned by the same people who failed us in the old government? So this argument loses meaning right from the start. And I think in any constituency where somebody is going to argue on that, immediately should fail. Because if there is a quest, the youth, the younger generation has a quest for a new government, then the people who should take charge of the new government cannot be the same faces who are manning the system right now. Secondly, you are saying that in the next 5 years, as Museveni will now be winding out with his presidency in the next 5 years. So there is going to be transition and it needs people there. Why do you come for the transition issue right now if you are very sure that in the next 5 years, the president is still going to be the same president? That means government has not changed. That means you should be talking about transition after the 5 years that you're talking about. Why do you need it now? Except if you're not just using it to sway people's thinking and get yourself in parliament and continue with the same nothing that you have been doing. So why are you coming? Why don't you wait after 5 years then come and talk about it? Because now we say, yeah, new government is coming. President Museveni is now leaving officially. So send me here. I'm very experienced. I know how to move. Old broom knows how to sweep. There is no need for old brooms. We need new brooms in the new government. Whoever is going to be the head of that government, I don't think the same people in the same system deserves to be there. Number two, the growing popularity of the NRM. There is a perceived growth in popularity of NRM. But I think when you look especially in northern Uganda, the perceived growth of NRM popularity is actually being matched by a mischievous metamorphosis of the opposition. What we witnessed in Nwaya, what we witnessed in Moro, Gulu, and even Amoro, I can guarantee that 50% of the people who went there are actually opposition supporters, dressed in yellow. What about it? It's a delusion to think that the NRM party is growing in popularity without understanding what exactly the oppositions are doing. I have seen an argument in Amoro district that this time we have been electing opposition, so this time we want to elect somebody in the ruling government party. But guess what? It's the same people you are talking about who metamorphose themselves and they are now NRM flag bearers, and we say this time we want to elect somebody from the ruling party, or we want to elect NRM, but is it not the same group of people? That is what we call complete metamorphosis. It's the same group of people transitioning themselves using mischievous means to achieve the certain goals. So what is the logic of electing the same people under different tickets and thinking of a change? That is delusional. So the perceived popularity, NRM has a lot of work to do, because there is now a very thin line between pretense. There's a very thin line between pretense and true loyalty to the party, because the opposition have found a way of moving into the system and pretending and yet pushing some agenda which at the end of the day is against the primary principles of the NRM party. So there is a lot of delusion also that there is a rising popularity of the party in the region. Thirdly, the rise of unopposed members of parliament. Uganda is one of the most educated, the most literate countries in Africa. Uganda has one of the best universities in Africa. Uganda always produces graduates severally every year. I cannot tell. Very many people are graduating every year. In 5 years, how many people graduate from the universities? To tell me there are constituencies where there are uneducated people who cannot contest, who do not meet bare minimum senior 6 to contest as members of parliament in constituency is an utter lie. Whatever we are seeing as independent and unopposed members of parliament are utter manipulations. We saw both the Speaker of Parliament and the Deputy Speakers, who are the people charged with the responsibility of protecting the democratic principles of this country, are going unopposed. And people want to say it is a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. This is a political manipulation that led to them becoming. So now, what beats my understanding is that both of them were from Forum for Democratic Change. Democratic change. It makes me it begs this question. People are in opposition just because they do not have a space in the ruling government. And people talk about democracy when they are on the wrong side of the oppression. But when they are given powers, they turn into bigger tormentors than what exists. The more I see opposition figures who have moved into the NRM party, who has power, and they begin to defile democracy, the more we begin to appreciate the military government of Museveni, because looks like even those ones who are pretending in the oppositions are actually far worse than him, given powers, because we have seen Deputy Speaker and the Speaker going unopposed. This is a manipulation, a political manipulation. For the Speaker, it's even worse, because even the husband I understand when unopposed. So we have a family where both the husband and the wife goes unopposed in their different constituencies, and people want to believe it is a perfect coincidence. Absolute lie. That is demonic. That is a political adultery. That is a defilement of the highest order, aggravated defilement of democracy in the country. It is not a coincidence. It is politically manipulated that these people went unopposed. But the world does not want to talk about it. So we want to pretend that this is normal. This is not normal. In a country of Uganda with people, very many people having bare minimum qualifications of a senior 6, for somebody to go unopposed is an absolute lie. Or maybe as a question, have Ugandans become so poor that they cannot afford the 3 million for nomination? Because that could be another question we could ask for why some constituencies actually goes without contest. Something must be answered here. Thank you very much. For now, bye.